There is not a player alive that doesn't throw bad darts, even when they're playing at their best. You tell me if you can tell with Phil that he's just thrown bad darts. I think we're recording. You've left it to me this week for episode 53 because my Wi-Fi is better. First time I've ever done it. Let's hope there's a podcast for everyone.
Yeah, and there nearly wasn't one a minute ago because I nearly drowned because I've just left work. I'm in Portsmouth at the moment here at the Super Series, and it was the end of the session. I've started walking. Not a problem. Everything's fine. And it's only like a 10, 15-minute walk. It's not far. 30 seconds in, I hear a thunder. And I'm like, okay. Next minute, bang! Absolutely hammers it down. And then now, I've just got dry, looked outside, sunny. It's like it's a different day. When I was walking back, like the drains was filling up and flooding, streams running down there. I sent you pictures, didn't I, Andy? How soaked I was. I was absolutely from head to toe dripping. And all of a sudden...
Go on.
Fine. All of
Fine.
a sudden, it's absolutely fine.
We get people watching us from all over the world, Matt, and they've probably got no sympathy right now because they're kind of like, it's minus 20 here or it's 45 degrees here. So just crack on, you British people, will you? And stop talking about the weather, But we do, don't we? We do. I struggled to sleep last night. It was that hot. But welcome. We made it past the year and we're here.
Do you know what, right? I'm going to carry on with this theme of me being the unluckiest person alive at times, right? So the other day, we went out for a lovely meal. We went to one of those Brazilian carving places that I like going to, right? And as we're coming back, we get on the M275, which is a 3-lane, little bit of motorway, speed limit 70 mile an hour. We're going 70, right? We get overtaken by a car with a soft top, right? He's wearing a hat. How is the hat staying on his head? If that was me, the hat would come off, lorry behind would run over it with all 7 tyres, bird would dump on it or something, I'd get seagull poo all over it. By the time I got to it, it'd be useless. And he's driving along with a hat on. But how is that hat staying on his head?
I guess it's slightly below the roof line, so the wind's hitting just above him. And he's kind of in the shelter bit, I guess. But somebody else surely be able to tell us. And those people that watch us, Matt, that live in hot countries, please get in the comments and give us some tips how to stay cool. Because we don't have air conditioning in the UK. So when it goes like this, we've got no clue what to do.
Do you know what puts me off having a soft top car?
Getting pooed on.
I have, that, losing my favourite hat. And do you know if you're driving along, right, and you get a stone flick up and hit your windscreen?
Oh.
Imagine if that hit you in the head. And do you know what's done that for me, right? Final Destination, where they're losing a lawnmower and they get the rock in the face.
I know.
Like, I can't sit in a soft tip car anymore. Like, I've got in one and I hated it. I was like ducking down the whole time. Like, please make it stop. Like, I'm just worried about stones being flicked up or anything.
It's not a good film franchise to watch that. There's always something in it that you can relate to. And then the next time it happens, you're like, oh, Final Destination, here we come. So it is a darts podcast. We'll do a little bit of darts and then we'll get on to all the other stuff. And now, boy, do I want to have a rant this week. So I've got some proper rants to have with you. Not with you, but with life. As you know, I've been on holiday for 2 weeks. So I've spotted loads of stuff that's annoying me. It's coming out in a minute. But Littler wins again. Beats Mike De Decker in the final. Humphries loses 6-0 first round, Matt. We were all hoping for this Luke v. Luke, and it's not happening. It's not happening. Luke, and I want your opinion, because Humphries has come out and said, it's my own fault. I haven't been practicing because I'm playing so much. I'm turning up at these events. I've got 4 hours during the day to get warmed up, but I have stopped practicing. And you've talked about this a lot. The difference between getting warmed up at an event for a couple of hours is very different to having 4 hours in your practice room, putting in the hard practice.
Correct. I would agree with him that I think it's also his fault, or not his fault, but I think he's made mistakes. Now, I'm trying to think of a way to put this because obviously I'm in a position of privilege with the job I do and the traveling and the access that I get. and I don't want to abuse that position by essentially giving my reason, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like if I give my actual reasonings for this, I think it'll be unfair because I'll be telling someone else's story and pulling back the curtain that maybe they didn't want pulling back. So what I would say is if he's identified the problem, great, because I identified the problem, what I've seen visually, what I've seen. And I don't think the issue is on the dartboard. A cryptic clue, maybe, shall we say, in regards to something that you would understand, is I would say Phil Taylor would have seen this and thought, woohoo, I'm going to get the better of you every single day of the week. It was a sign of error, but we're all going to do it, especially when you look at where he is in the world. So I'll say yes. I do believe there's been a few. And the other thing is, you got to remember as well, family. You know, when you're away so much, you do want to make sure you have time with the family. You want to make sure that you've got that personal time as well. That's one of the hardest things to juggle when you're doing this and you're traveling, you're away so much. Because when you're back home, I think Triple H said on Tough Enough once, and I agree so much with it, because you're back home and you're home for 3 days, 2 days. You can't just be dad no more. You've got to be super dad. You know, you can't just be boyfriend, husband. You got to be super husband. You know, you've got to try and cram it all in. So I get that. You know, he's had a lot to balance recently. Luke Humphries went from being a good dart player to being an elite dart player. We've got to remember, last year he made his Premier League debut. You forget that, you know, because he's been good for so long.
He's been around for ages. Yeah.
The Premier League debut last year. Money that he's never had.
I might be wrong, but you know, and we both have different ideas about different things. For me, and people often say to me, you know, what made Taylor so good? What made Van Gerwen so good when he was at his best? Right, go back into the archives. Watch Phil at his best. Guess what? He still throws bad darts. There is not a player alive that doesn't throw bad darts, even when they're playing at their best. You tell me if you can tell with Phil that he's just thrown bad darts. No emotion, nothing, no signal to the opponent of weakness, no signal that, oh, I'm even slightly bothered of it 41 because I'm coming back with a 180. I've noticed lately Luke Humphries caring too much when he's not hitting a big score. Like it's, why have I not hit a ton? Why have I not hit a 140? Even 2 darts in the treble. Oh, I can't believe I've missed the 180. That's weird behavior. If I'm stood behind him, I'm thinking, wow, everything's winding you up here. Everything. Great. So that's my own take on it. And you never saw that with Phil or Michael at their best. You only saw it with Michael when he started to not be dominating as much anymore. But at his best, you never saw it. So that's my own kind of, what do you think? You know, is there any truth in that?
I think it's fair. I'm not going to disprove or prove it, because obviously that's opinion versus opinion. And okay, I'll do it. My opinion, I agree that you can get a tough point where you're managing perfection. Now, this is my view on this. You should never seek perfection. Nothing's perfect. There's never a 10 out of 10. I mean, on Rate My Hockey, we may disagree with that. The idea is nothing's perfect. Nothing is perfect. And darts is the most managed expectation sport in the world. This is why, ask someone how much, I'm going to ask you the question first before I get into this. How much of darts is physical? How much of it is mental at the top end of the game?
Great question. And
then I'll follow it up.
Yeah, the top end of the game, I'd say it was 80% mental.
Perfect. I thought you'd go high. So you're saying 80% of this game is a mental game, right? So I'm guessing in that sense you need to stay in a positive mindset all the time, because it's 80%, so you need to be positive. Now, let's just think about what darts is. Darts is a game of instant feedback. Every time you throw a dart, you're going to get an outcome. Every single time. So every time you're throwing a dart, you've got an outcome, which means you've got an emotional attachment because it's either a success or a fail. Some fails are more acceptable than others. You don't want a 1. You don't want to pull a dart. You don't want to miss a double. But let's work with an average of 100. If you averaged 100 now, you'd be happy, right?
Yeah, of course.
If Joe Cullen goes on the World Match Play stage and averages 100, he'll be happy. If Luke Littler goes on the stage and averages 100, he'll be happy. 100 average is like the benchmark of elitism in our sport. Now, to average 100, you need to be hitting 100 a shot, which is 1 treble per shot, which means out of the 3 darts you throw, you only need to be successful 33% of the time, which means 66% of your darts are misses. And that is elitism level of our sport, 66% miss rate. So when you come down to the next level and the next level, then counting, and you're down your local and you're seeing Dave wave his arms around because he's not in a ton every time, and you think, just chill out, mate. Like, your success rate is probably about 7 or 8%. Why are you waving your arms around 92% of the time?
I love this, Matt. You've talked about this before.
Yeah, the real strength is finding that 80% in the 33% maximum potential. How can you have 80% trying to filter into 33? That's where what makes Michael so good, what makes Phil so good, is because they can focus that 80% energy into a much smaller realm and find the positivity. Its mental aspect is what separates the people. It's not practicing 22 hours a day.
Brilliant. I have heard you talk about that before, and I love it then and I love it now. It's a great way. And my analogy is always a golf analogy, that people think golfers hit the fairway every time, hit the green every time, roll the putts in. The very best players in the world only hit about 65% of the fairways. The very best. And yet you and I go and rock up at the golf course. Oh, I've missed another fairway. Well, yeah. And the very best player in the world might have missed it. You know, and it's a great, I love that. Absolutely love that.
Well, how about this one?
Really good.
When the player goes, I should have won that game because I had a dart at a double. What? So when you get a dart at a double, you hit 100%, do you? Yeah. The very, very best in the world, I believe the last time I looked was very recently, and I think it was 42.7% is the highest checkout over 12 months as a percentage of any player in the world. Any player in recorded stats. Which
is almost 1 in 2, which is incredible. Yeah.
It is, but it goes over 1 in 2. So essentially it's 2.1 darts or 2.2 darts, which means you need to throw 3 darts to get that. So why do you think, because you've had 1 dart at a double, you should win the world championships? Like, come on, like there's managing realism as well, which is where I love punditry as well. I love that side of things because there's a lot that you can sort of take from that.
And I think our listeners and viewers can take a lot of everything that you've just said, Matt, in that don't have your expectations so high. Exactly from what you've just said. Right, before I get all cozy, because you've made me feel warm inside, I love that what you just said there. I want to have my holiday rant because, and I know you had one of these in the past, I've had too much time to myself. I've had 2 weeks off work. I've been off with my daughter and stuff has been winding me up, Matt. And I've got a list of 8 things here that's winding me up. I don't want to know if they wind you up. So we're going to put it out to the viewers there. Things that have been winding Andy up in this 2 weeks holiday. Right. Number 1, people walking side by side on a pavement that's only just about wide enough for 2 people, but they walk at 1 mile an hour. So the only way you can get past them is to walk into the road. Drives me flipping mad. Unbelievable. Number 2. And I get this a lot where I am. So a lot where I am, there's parked cars on one side. So you've got to stop and then you let the other car pass, or they stop and they let you pass. Great. Fine. Love that. Stop. And then so the guy stops for me in the car, lets me go around. I say, thanks, mate. Put my hand up. Yeah. Big thumbs up. Cheers, mate. What do? They wave back. What are you waving? I'm the one saying thank you. Why are you waving back? I'm not your mate. I don't know who you are. I'm not your mate. Why are you waving at me? It's like, oh, thanks. And they go, oh, yeah, thanks. What are you thanking me for? You've let me out. Drives me mad. Right. Oh, my God. Sainsbury's the other day. And I'm sure this is the same in all supermarkets. So they've got all these self-checkouts. Yeah, I was in there.
Waitrose.
Yeah, there isn't a Waitrose where I live.
No, that's why he explains it. Yeah, there we go. Bit of Harrods.
Yeah. So, Sainsbury's the other day. Right, I've gone in the morning. There's nobody on the checkouts. Nobody. Not one bit, because it's all self-checkout now. There's a queue for the self-checkouts because they're all being used. There's now a queue to get to use the self-checkout. Aren't they supposed to make things faster? Now I'm queuing up to scan my own shopping. What the hell? Put somebody on a checkout, please, Sainsbury's and everybody else. Right. Parking at Sainsbury's.
Oh,
Range Rovers that park in 2 spaces because one isn't enough for them. No. It's only a small car park with not really enough room, but they're going to take up 2 spaces so that you can't find a space. Yeah, brilliant. It's always Range Rovers, Matt. Always. Drives me flipping mad. Right. This one's quite controversial. So I've been down to London, and there's a lot of people that love London, a lot of people that live in London. Running up escalators. Well done, mate. I've stood to the side. You've legged it up there. It's about 40 degrees. You've saved yourself 8 seconds on your journey. Wherever you're going, you're getting there 8 seconds quicker because you've run up the escalator. If you can give me a reason why people do that, seriously, if it was 30 years ago, they'd have locked those people up. They'd have said they're criminally insane running up escalators. Oh, well,
you could have a night with the missus in that.
8 seconds, twice. No problem. No problem at all. Right. Now then, this is going to upset some people, this one. In fact, 2 of the last 3 are going to upset some people, but I don't care because I'm on an Andy holiday rant. Vegetarians and vegans, right, that profess, I don't like the cruelty to animals and blah, 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 all this stuff. I don't eat meat anymore, but they still drink wine, right? I was in the wine trade for about 10 years. I'm not going to go into the whole reasons why. If you're vegetarian or vegan, right, watching this, got nothing against you, but if you drink wine, just go on Google. Just go on Google and see if you should be drinking wine, because you shouldn't. Okay?
Do you know what I don't get about vegetarians?
It's filtered through animal products. Go on.
Why do vegetarians and vegans want something that looks like the meat alternative? Like,
and call it the same thing. It's a vegetarian sausage. Surely you don't want a sausage. It's a nut roast. Well, you don't want a roast. You don't want a roast chicken. Why you got? Yeah, I love that. Love that.
Or when it's like, or the ones that really get me is when I can't believe it's not chicken, or it's really not chicken. Why do you want chicken in the title of it? Like,
and then the new one is, when you get like a chicken wrap, it's now called a no-kin wrap. So it's no chicken wrap. What the hell? What the hell? Oh, madness! Right. This is my best one.
I've got a photo on my phone of an airport that's got it said vegan chicken. I'm like, how can you have a vegan chicken? I'll send you the picture.
This one's a new one. I've not seen this before, but this holiday, I don't know if you get it down your way, I'm seeing pushchairs with dogs in. People pushing around a pushchair, and you look in, it's a dog. There's a dog being pushed around. It wants to have a walk. Get it? What are you doing? Jesus. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And then my last one. This is my controversial one. Because, you know what it's like. You take far too much time on your hands. Start looking at climate change and thinking, should I be getting solar panels? Should I be doing my bit? And then looking at the difference the UK makes to climate change compared to China and India that are just off the chart. Like, they're just burning everything in sight. Like, literally anything, we'll just burn it. We'll burn it, we'll create. And meanwhile, we're going, yes, well, if we all get solar panels, we'll all be okay. We'll stop the world from dying. It's just, mate, honestly, too much time on my hands. But yeah, my favourite has got to be pushchairs with dogs in. Seriously, when that became a thing, I do not know.
I think we holiday very different ways. I've never been on holiday. I thought, I wonder what the climate change is.
As you're flying in your jet over the ocean. Ooh, climate change. Yeah, all right. I don't fancy getting into the first plane that's operated by solar. You know what I mean? Imagine you go under a cloud, you whoosh straight out of the sky. Yeah, so no, not going to work.
We've had holidays recently. You sit around worrying about climate change. I got on 2 planes and went to Las Vegas on the other side of the world.
Oh, mate. So there's my rants. If anybody agrees, please get in the comments. Some of them have been driving me mad. Right, let's get in some questions, Matt, because I've got some for you. This is a really good one for you. I spotted this straight away. This has come from Jerzar. He's called Jerzar. He's talking about bench pressing when you were talking about bench pressing the other week. He's saying, I would love it if you could talk about mobility, how to improve it and how it affects the throw. I've been lifting heavy weights for 15 years because he competed in natural bodybuilding. Fell in love with darts, practiced very much, practicing a lot. But the years of the strength training have made him quite stiff some days, and he has problems throwing. Any tips? Any tips how to get a bit more mobile?
Just the usual, really. I would suggest stretchers, resistance bands, massage guns, and actual massage. You know, the usual sort of suspects are very tried and tested, and tend to. I get you. I'm very similar. I've done a lot of things over time where, you know, I've lived 17 lives in one. You know, and when you look at some of the stuff I've done over time, my muscles are starting to shrink essentially because that's age, but also the fact I've been going to the gym and training again as well at the moment, where I'm actually putting on muscle mass, but it's making the length of the muscles shorter. So I'm having to now start doing a lot of stretch routines, which I haven't started yet. I've had a plan written out for 3 weeks. I haven't started it. I really should. But actually, I do a couple, but I need to do more. And it's one of those things that as you get older, the mobility and the flexibility is going to reduce. It's going to naturally change anyway. And do you know what? It's one of those things that we should always try and preserve as long as we can. So I need to get off my lazy backside and start doing the stretches and the routines. Absolutely. I'm in a perfectly good position. I've got a studio flat here in Portsmouth. I can just put it on the telly or get my plan out on my laptop. I could just do it on an evening because I'm sat in doing nothing. However, what I do is I sit and play Football Manager. So it's one of those where, yeah, absolutely. Stretchers, certainly before a heavy routine, I would always say very, very light set, just bar, for example, with bench press, stretchers, slightly heavier, stretchers again. You just have to add in more and more. And it's not just the primary muscle as well. Look at like deep lying muscles and secondary muscles.
And you mentioned age, Matt. I presume, as you know, people are getting older, people are getting my age in their 50s. You need to stretch more. Simple as.
Absolutely.
I saw a really good tip the other day from a guy about sleep, funnily enough. And he was saying once you get over in your 50s, there's this kind of, you would know the exercises, I don't know what they call it, where you kind of cross your hips over and then back again before you go to sleep. And it relaxes your back muscles so you don't wake up, oh, I can't move. Your back's nice and loose when you're going to sleep and stuff like that. So
do you do that one?
Well, yeah, I did it for one night. And I felt great the next morning. But it's like remembering, and then it's can you be bothered? And then, I'm terrible at stuff like that.
I do that one in the morning. But what I do is, so, you know, when you put your leg across, like your left leg across, you get the heel of your right foot and put it over your knee to push it down even further. Because that really like releases my lower back. Because as you've seen me in the morning, I sound like a bag of spanners. Yeah. Like I'm horrific in the morning, like.
Yeah, well, years body abuse, wasn't it? Really, wrestling alongside darts wasn't really the best.
Wrestling, boxing, football, MMA, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's not the best lifestyle choices when you put it all into one. But I was that guy who it's like, right, I'm not doing anything on a Tuesday night. What can I do? I need to go do something. Like, I just can't. Yeah. Do you know what, right? The more I look into a lot of things, the more like I accused you of being the other day, didn't I? The more I think, how did I never get tested for ADHD? Like,
yeah.
How did I never get tested? Like, if I was in this era now, I'd have so many titles on my day. Like, 'cause I can't sit still. I can't stay in. Like, you know what it's like. I'm like, I'll message you at 2 o'clock in the morning. Andy, I've thought of this great idea.
Well, you messaged me the other day. You'd slept in. You'd gone to bed early, and I know you go to bed normally about midnight. You're up at 5. And that's just the Edgar. That's just how can I get more hours out of the day? Well, I'll sleep less. And you seem to manage it. And then the other day you text me, oh my God, what did you have? Like 9 hours sleep. It felt horrific for 3 days.
Yeah, I went to bed at 9, got up at 6. Because the other thing is, right, and this is where like life changed for me. Like when I was younger, I used to get out of bed at I used to sleep into like 12. Like sometimes into the afternoon. And as I get older and older, I want to sleep less and less because I'm like, I want to see the morning. I like being up before anybody else is. I like, like a lot of my clients will get emails from me at like 5 in the morning because the other thing is when I'm up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, when I respond to something, I don't get something back. So it doesn't distract me. Yeah. So I can literally work through everything. Go boom, 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 boom. Everyone's heard from me who needs to hear from me now, and they've got what they need to get for the day or the week or what they need to go and do. But do you know the other thing, right? So this was something that came up recently, and it's the most ADHD thing going. And when it was said, it's like, oh my God, that is so me. And it's that thing that you don't like doing something when you've been asked to do it, even if you was going to go do it. So for example, if I was to get up now and I was going to go, right, I'm going to go do the washing up. I'm going to go do the dishes. And as I was going over there, you went, oh, Matt, why are you there? Just want to do the dishes. I would instantly not want to do it because you've asked me to do it. And I'd be like, well, I'm not going to do them now. You do the dishes, But I was on my way to do it anyway. But because you've asked me to do it, instantly, I don't want to do it. And I know, and I tested this theory out.
That is so true about you. That is so true. I'm like, Matt, have you got your darts? And you have got them, but you're like, no, I'm wrong.
And I've got a friend who's like ADHD positive. And we went out to a restaurant, right? And he pulled his chair out. I went, oh, you sit there. And then he went and moved. And I'm like, oh, it does work. It works. I'm like, you're not sitting there? He goes, no, I'm going to sit this way. But he'd already pulled the chair out to sit in the chair. But because I said, oh, you sit there, I'll sit here, you sit there. He didn't want to be told to sit there. And so he moved somewhere else. And I was like, wow.
You can use that to your advantage. When he gets first in the queue, you'd be like, oh, mate, you go first. You go first. You'd be like, no, you go.
I'll pay the bill.
Last hot dog. Yeah.
I'll put the bill. Over here, Portavort.
Oh dear. Right, Greg Keynes has been on, not with a question, but I'm going to give him, I haven't done this for ages, I'm going to give him comment of the week because he sent me an email. I've read it, the covered score all the way through. I love it, what he's saying. Made me smile. Greg, drop us an email, youtube@missiondarts.com. I'll send you some goodies. From South Africa is Greg. Proud member of the club, watched and listened to every episode of the pod. And he said, I love the games that you two come up with every week. They crack me up. Andy's games are along the lines of, Matt, can you give me 2 players in the top 64 of the world who have nicknames? And you always get them. Whereas Matt's games are always along the lines of, Andy, let's play a game where you have 8 guesses to guess the last 8 players to lose in the second round of the Tuesday Pro Tour. That were held in Germany, and they all averaged between 95 and 97. And he said that's what your games are, and my games are like, Matt, can you name 2 players in the top 64? So thank you, Greg, because you're absolutely right there. Matt's questions are far too difficult for me. Anyway, I've got a question, and this is for both of us. It's implied at me. It's from Matador Darts, but you can answer it as a player. So he's saying, when a player joins Mission, for instance, Ryan Meikle, who's recently joined Mission, Is part of the sign-in process with Mission a fitting session with me for the dart? Why are my headphones just falling out? Oh, now I've just banged my knee. This is like a sketch off. I don't know. Right, it's back in. So, sorry about that. Yeah, so when a new player is signed, do they have a fitting session with me? Right. If they want to, they do. Sometimes it's a little tweak, and sometimes they don't want to know. So that's me answering the question there. Right, it's deciding that my camera's.
We can still hear you. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. Hopefully he'll come back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I've got you. Yeah.
Right, I'll make a note of that. I have no idea what happened then. It just went off. Let me make a note of that, and then you can 31 minutes. And then we'll start again. One sec. I'm back, Matt. I've no idea what happened then, mate. Not a clue whatsoever. But anyway, we were talking about Ryan Meikle as a new signing. So as you, a player, as a Mission player as well as YouTuber, content creator, everything else that you do, you didn't have a fitting session with me at the beginning because you already played a long time and knew what you wanted, didn't you? That being said, we've made some tweaks, haven't we, recently? Perhaps you want to tell the people about that, what you've ended up with.
Well, we had to make a few tweaks, didn't we? Because the muscle mass on the lads, Okay, but yeah. But true story, actually. Body composition is changing. I've lost a little bit of fat. I've put on a bit of muscle, and I've gained an awful lot of strength. So with that, the darts are going to change. It's not going to be the same. Do you know, I think I'm probably more back to my original setup as I've ever been in regards to the fundamentals of throw, as in like where you grip, all those sorts. Because before, what I was doing as the flights was getting bigger was I was moving further and further back towards the stem. And now what I'm doing is I've my hand and my grip's coming a bit closer to the front, where I'm probably now on the balance point again. But it's giving me a lovely arc of the dart. I'm able to turn and move a bit more mobility in the wrist. So I'm able to turn and move the wrist and things with the throw. So I'm able to go back to that slim style setup again at the moment. So hopefully I can stay with that because that's where I found my most success. But yeah, I think a lot of players will like to stick with what they've got first, be familiar, sort of a redesign of the dart they've already got. And then moving forward, that's when they'll go, right, where can I find some improvements and get some better?
We talked about it before. If only Michael Smith had said that when he moved suppliers, if he just said, just make me the darts that I won the World Championship with. But we know it's not just down to that. But no, an interesting take on that, Matt. And we know your darts are going well. Remind us again when you're on Modus. What month is that?
October.
So we're well into August now. So we're around about sort of 7-8 weeks away. Have you started putting any practice in? Have you been able to practice with injury free?
I've not really been able to practice yet. So I'm here now. I've been here a week and a half already. I leave here on Sunday, head off home. I've got European tour in Prague coming up, where I'm going to be away from Thursday to Monday. I've got 3 or 4 days in Leicester for the Pro Tours as well. Coaching dates, we're meeting up to do some filming, so time's going to be quite limited. But on the same aspect, I'm not a player who traditionally needs a lot of practice to be able to sort of get myself ready, so I can build up to that, no problems. I'm quite confident. I'm very happy with how I'm playing, so I'm looking forward to that side of things. So yeah, I'm quietly confident.
I've just noticed that our regulars will be a bit gutted, Matt, that you're not sat in your new chair that we talked about, that I said that won't even be built by Christmas. But stop press, he's actually built his new chair for his studio, but he's not at home this week, sadly. Otherwise, we could have seen the new flashy chair maybe next week.
I've had to sit in it. It's lovely, vibrating chair, full recliner. Oh, it's incredible. But I will also. So that's one thing I saw in the comments. I saw something else last week. I actually read the comments last week.
Okay.
And there was something I did like in there that people was a little bit disappointed that we didn't talk about in the podcast. So I'm going to speak about it this week, because I get that people want to hear certain things and they come to the podcast because they want to hear about different topics. And we left out a very important topic last week and I saw it come up multiple times. So I'm like, well, I've got to address it this week. We can't go 2 weeks and not address it. So just to let you know, yes, my darts are available in 21, 23 and 25 grams.
All in stock currently, so go and grab yourself a set. Yeah, absolutely.
They're actually selling quite well, aren't they? Like
the build up on that was good, Matt.
25% of the stock has gone already.
And do you know what? Here's something. While you've said that, do you know what? I spoke to somebody the other week who's a very, very good player, and he just said the darts weren't quite landing right. And I said, have you considered going up a weight? And he was like, well, the only weight I can go to in the dart that I use is 26. I can't possibly use anything that heavy. And why? Like, what's your... Oh, no, I'm a good player. I can't go as heavy as 26. Like, that's what he actually said to me. I was like, Phil Taylor used 26. He seems to have done okay. Ryan Sill uses 32. He seems to be doing okay. Anyway, he's gone to 26, emailed me back, flying great. Love it. So don't ever be afraid to, if you're using the Edgar 23s and they're just not quite going, try the 25s. Don't be afraid. I think amateur players go lighter rather than heavier. It's almost like I can use light darts. It's almost like a kudos, like, oh yeah, I'm a better player because I use lighter darts. Really?
Like when you go bowling and like the guy who gets a £15 ball.
Can't lift it.
Yeah.
That's a man thing, that isn't it? Oh yeah, I'll have to. What's the heaviest bowling ball you do? Yeah, that's the one for me.
Right, I'm going to go bowling. I'm going to use the £16 bowling ball. Then I'm going to go have a bit of steak, rare, with a pint of lager.
Yeah,
man night out. I'm going to have a lads night out.
Yeah, absolutely.
You actually have rare, don't you?
I do. Yeah, I can eat it blue. Yeah, I can have blue or rare. Yeah. That's how I like it. Yeah. No, it is.
Is blue where you just literally put in the pan either side and then?
Yeah, you basically show it. Yeah, you go, there's the pan. No, you literally.
It's like feeling, isn't it?
Blue would be like red hot pan. And by the way, it's a quick tip for you. If you're cooking steak, don't use olive oil. Doesn't get hot enough. So there's a tip for you. Don't put olive oil if you're cooking a steak. Use grapeseed oil or something. You want an oil that burns at a hotter temperature so you can get that beautiful sear on the outside. Anyway, it's not a cookery podcast, but anyway.
It's a dance. We barely talked about
it. Yeah. So, but yeah, I can literally put mine in the pan, 15 seconds, hot pan each side. That'll do me. Lovely. Yeah, eat it red. But then I like sushi and things like that. I like stuff that's just like that. I know you don't. You like it a bit more well cooked. So when we eventually have a Chateaubriand between us, I'll have to eat the middle bit and you'll have to eat the outside bit that's cooked a little bit more. We've had a lot of love, by the way, for Rate My Throw. If you haven't been over yet to the main channel, Monday night at 7, we are now talking about people's throws. It's our new series. It's doing great for a new series, and the comments on it are people are loving it, Matt. We know it's in its early stages. We know we're already planning series 2 and what we're going to do to make it better. And a lot of people saying, oh, how can I send mine in? We will give you details further on in series 1 as to how you can send that in. But if you haven't checked that out yet, get over to the main YouTube channel and check out Rate My Throw, which is very interesting. Right, questions, Matt. And quite a few questions from one person. So Ivan Fletcher has said questions for the podcast, and he wants both of our opinions. Who is the most entertaining player? So there you go. Who entertains you, Matt? Who do you want to watch? Because I always think that if it's Chris Dobie versus Peter Wright, I'm kind of turning over and watching the golf. But who entertains you?
I'm always more entertained by progression rather than elitism. I'm not as interested in the Champions League but I'm interested in the journey to get to the Champions League. I'm not interested in the World Cup as such, but I'm interested in watching everything that gets someone selected for the World Cup. I'm not so interested in the main event in wrestling. I'm more interested in the Intercontinental Championship. So I'm more of a journey fan. I like to watch the journey. I like to feel like I'm on that progression and I'm going along with them. So for me, right now, nothing's more entertaining than watching Bo Greaves, because I think we're watching something be unearthed. I think we're watching something where we could go to a level that we've never seen from a female player before. I think she's going to actually break the glass ceiling. So for me, Bo Greaves is the most entertaining watch because there's so many questions. And I remember I commentated on Bo Greaves versus Josh Rock, I think it was. And it was like, this is great because this is one of the real informed players right now against Bo, who's looking at testing herself, seeing where she is. So for me, yeah, Bo Greaves undoubtedly is the most entertaining player right now.
Interesting. I'd say Jose de Sousa. I just love watching him because you don't know what's coming next. I mean, literally, no idea what way he's going to go, whether he's going to bust. It's just, I love watching him. He's great, but sadly, he's disappearing a little bit down the rankings.
Unpredictability.
Unpredictability, and that's what makes it entertaining. I've seen people coming out this week, Matt, saying, because Littler won again. Are you all right there? I'm not quite sure what Matt's
I was trying to get it, but I have to get up.
This could go wrong. He's stretching it. He's just told you about warming up and stretching, and now he's trying to reach this blind. Oh, there you go. Bit of light behind you now. Right, so
I could have just stood up. The problem is I'm getting warm, and with the blind closed, I'm getting no airflow.
Can you imagine how warm you'd be in your studio right now?
I don't think it'd be too bad, actually. Plus, I've got my cooler.
Not?
No, I've got my cooler as well.
Have you got your new cooler? You got a new one, didn't you?
Yeah, I sent it back. It wasn't very good.
You don't get much of $4.99, Matt. Unfortunately,
No,
I've never met anybody that's quite happy to spend 300 quid on a figure that's like this in a packet from the 1970s, but won't pay 30 quid for a steak. It's like one of them's just going to go in a box in your wardrobe for 300 quid, and the other one's something you're physically going to eat right now. No, I'm not paying that. Not paying that.
Well, as you know, I've done it again this week, haven't I? I sent you some pictures about Andy.
Bought some more figures. Honestly, you are going to be on Antiques Roadshow or something in the future.
Oh,
I'm sure.
I've got one for you here, right? I've got one for you. So, as you know, I collect everything. I collect all sorts. He might listen to this.
Is that a kleptomaniac, Matt, or have I just made that word up? Kleptomaniac, I think, is somebody that collects everything. Right, go on.
Maniac of a lot of things, probably. But yeah, I'm really collecting computer games at the moment. Mega Drive, SNES, Game Boy, Game Gear, everything I'm collecting. And I bought a load of Mega Drive games recently. And I'm a full collector, so I have to have the manual with it and all these sort of things. And I believe the guy listens to this podcast as well. Went into the attic and he found a Game Boy boxed with some games. And he sent me a message of the stuff. And he goes, would you be interested in this? I'm like, absolutely. What would you like for it? And he goes, no, I'm just going to send it to you. You can have it. And I'm like, no, let me do something. He goes, no, I'll send it to you. And I said, he wants to come down for a coaching session. I said, well, when you come down for a coaching session and I'll just do the coaching session. I won't charge you. And then I think that's a fair trade. And I was so excited, like, to get this message, right, come through with this photo of this stuff. It felt like Christmas Day. Like, you don't, to me, you say there about buying the items. To me, it's more than just an item. Like, I tell you what, Christmas the other year, someone messaged Jodie and asked for either a PO box address or a thing because they heard, like, they saw the things I collect in the backgrounds and things, and they wanted it to be a surprise. And I've come down Christmas, and Jodie's gone, oh, this is from, and she read the name of the guy who, because he come in all the chats at the time, because this is a present from, and I opened it and it was a Steve Stone Corinthian figure boxed. I was like, this is incredible. Like, those real surprising things like that. So getting up in the day and then seeing all this Game Boy stuff, you can imagine how excited I was.
Oh, yeah.
can't wait to
I
play it.
loved my Game Boy. Tetris on the Game. I can't. I must have lost my youth to Tetris on the Game Boy. I absolutely loved it. And do you know what? I'm old enough to remember. You probably not, but you will know of them. A folding screen that had then had two screens with Donkey Kong. Oh my God! I love.
Here's one for you then. Darts computer games. We've had them before.
Never been any good. There's never been a good one.
Exactly. No.
Yeah,
and we had the PDC ones, and I don't think you can make a good darts game because if you make a game, it's too easy to master, and you'll just hit 9 darters every time, like you did on the Wii. Mm-hmm. Or if you make it too tricky, what's the point? You might as well just go play darts.
Yeah, and we've spoke about this is where. So again, if you compare it to a golf game has variables because they go, oh, it's raining. Or the wind's blowing. You've got to allow for that. The green's slopey. Darts, it's a board, it's a dart. There's nothing else going on. So you can't make it. Other factors make it difficult in external a computer factors. Game. Yeah, external factors. That's the problem. I don't think it'll ever be a good one. I don't think there will. Unfortunately, right. Ivan's second question was, who do you find the most boring player to watch?
I hate watching slow players. I find it really, really boring. I like rhythm. I like pace. I think in 2025, it should be outlawed. I mean, that's a joke. But like...
No, but is it a joke, Matt? Should there be a maximum amount of time?
I don't think anyone would exceed what would be fair, is what I'd say. Like, I don't think there's anyone who takes the mick. So,
I mean, they've brought it into other sports. Tennis now, you have 15 seconds to serve. Golf, you've got a certain amount of time to hit your shot. But yet darts, there's still no limit.
I also wonder if with that, would it become a target? Like speed limits. Sometimes you don't drive down a road like, you go, oh, it says 50, I should be doing 50. Where actually you may look at it and go, actually, I'd normally do 40 on this road. It's a bit ropey. I tell you what, when we went out to do Rate My Hockey and I'm going around all these cliffs and I'm like, what on earth's this? This is a path. It's national speed limit, 60 miles an hour. I'm like, I'm not going over 20 here.
Yeah.
It's
and
60.
yeah, when we went to Wales, we went through some country roads that were 20 that you could have quite easily done 60. It was the wrong way around, wasn't it?
We went through an actual river.
Yeah, we did.
The road went through the river. What
do they call them? Is it called a ford?
Madness.
Is that a ford when the somebody get in the comments and let me know if I've got that wrong. Something where the water comes at certain times of day and you actually have to drive through the water. But anyway. Okay, so yeah, I'd say the same. For boring, it is slow play. I'm not a fan. Is there anybody slow? I mean, you could say Phil was quite slow in his day, but I quite liked watching Phil. Yeah, but I mean, the likes of Justin Pipe and, oh, God, it's to drive me insane watching him play. The best thing about watching Justin Pipe was him doing the Kung Fu on stage afterwards, or whatever it was he did, the Taekwondo or something on stage. That was the best bit. Anyway, his final one is the most annoying player to play. Again, is that going to be a slow player?
We've done videos on this, like people that talk, people that, like say, are slow, deliberate, take the darts out slow, walk down the hockey at you. There's loads. We've done some shorts on that on the main channel.
Right, come on, give us an insight. You're a mate of one of the most famous players that got stick for this, Kevin Painter. He got stick all the time. Famously, the rift on stage with Phil Taylor. Was Kevin as bad on stage as everybody thought? He's a mate of yours. He won't mind you saying. Was he a little monkey? Was he a cheeky little monkey that tried one or two things? I can tell by your face.
He was expressive.
And I love Kev. He was expressive. Oh, that was very
expressive. Yeah, he was expressive. He was very passionate as well about the sport, and probably very passionate about individual moments, and probably too passionate about individual moments, I would say, where it wasn't a game. It was a collection of 100 incidences between a match. Probably got drawn in a bit too much.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll let you have that. There were one or two, weren't there? I mean, I was only on the tour for a year, but you were on there for many years. There was one or two that you thought, oh, I know what's coming here. And then on the other hand, there was some, do you know what? Some of the nicest guys you'd ever meet, perfect gentlemen. You will have played Mark Dudbridge quite a few times. I've played Mark a couple of times, and I thought, what an absolute gent. What an absolute gent. And did he make a world final or a semi?
Yes,
or something?
and the match play.
Yeah.
2004,
very,
I believe it was. No, 2000, was it 2002?
Very good player.
Match play 02. Worlds might have been 04. I'm going to check that quickly just because I think that's incredible knowledge if I pulled it off. I think the match play was 02 and the Worlds was 04, I believe. Let's have a look. Mark Dudbridge.
Yeah.
Right, so World Match Play was 2004. Okay, so I've got 2004 right, but it was both in the same year. 2002 wasn't it? What did he do in 2002? He must have done something of note for me to say. I won the World Masters. I knew he'd have to have done something in 2002, or else I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have known.
So while we are briefly on darts again, is Littler? Is your money on him now for everything? Is he going to win the Grand Slam? Is he going to win the Worlds? Is he going to win the Players? Is he going to win the Grand Prix next? Isn't it? Would you put in favour for the Grand Prix? Double start? Can't start on double 10, surely. I mean,
depends how he depends on the early game. It's like Taylor. He lost to Painter. He lost to Andy Calaby. He was vulnerable in the early rounds. Andy Smith beat Michael van Gerwen in his prime. So it's one of those for me that if he gets past the early bit, I think he'll do well. He won't win them all. I've already made it clear that if he does, I'll jump in the sea, as I said before, but this time in bra and pants, just to add to it a bit more. He's not going to win everything. He's going to lose something along the way.
Yeah. For me, the Players, when it's best of 11, he's vulnerable. Grand Prix, I just don't see him winning it. It's a double stop. When we look at people that have won it in the past and that have done well there, it's never who you expect. It's always somebody unexpected that. Johnny Clayton's coming to mind. I don't know why, but he's going to be my pick. I've said it, but it's always a funny one. So no, he isn't going to win everything. I'll join you in the sea with the bra and pants if he wins every major between now and January. Not a chance. Can't possibly happen. Taylor never managed it.
He's only played one, and he lost 2-1. That was to Rob, because he did have 94 though. To be fair to him, Luke,
which in double starts pretty hot. Hot.
But
can we name all the 9 darters in the Grand Prix? I'll go with the first one, Brendan Dolan.
Well, Wade Thornton and Dolan. There's the only 3.
Now, why did I think there was a 4th? Somebody not doing last year?
I don't think so.
Oh, see, this is exactly what the guy was saying a minute ago. You've given me all the answers. You'll be right. I'm trying to come up with a game that you don't know the 4th because there isn't a 4th.
I don't think there is. Let's have a look on Wikipedia, see if it gives us any help. Should give us 9 darters. Brendan Dolan 2011 and Wade and Thornton in 2014. There's not been one for 11 years.
Nobody's... Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I only thought about 9 darters because I was, like you do, mooching through YouTube the other day and I spotted... okay. And see, this is the thing. The questions come in my head, but there's no point in me asking you here. Because who are the 2 people that have hit 9 darters on the same, that have hit more than one 9 darter on the same night?
Hit more than one 9 darter. Gerwin Price.
And?
Phil Taylor.
Yeah. That's what I mean. There's no point in me asking you yet. Because it's like, I know you're going to give me the answer. It's not that easy a question. Not everybody would instantly get Gerwin Price. They'd remember Taylor's, but they wouldn't. But you get it straight away, you see. This is why there is no point me ever doing a quiz unless it's something to do with music, because you're terrible at music.
But it is my job, technically. Like, it's my job to know this stuff. That's why they pay me the big bucks.
That's it. So I'm out of questions this week. Is there anything else? What's been going on in your life that you need to tell everybody about, or what's going on in the darts world?
I don't think some do quite well. Darts world's very quiet at the moment. We're at Champions Week at the moment in Portsmouth for the Super Series. We're about to start another cycle down here then for Series 12, the last series of the year. That's going to feature some interesting names. I'm in it, and there's going to be a few other interesting names in it. I can't reveal who they are, but keep your eye on the series because...
Do you know who's in your week? Anybody we know?
I do.
Oh, are you allowed to say?
Again, I'm not. No, we're not allowed to say till the Thursday before we play. So yeah, technically I probably shouldn't even know who's in it, but when I work there, I just pop in the office and let's have a little look. Say,
yeah. So are you quietly confident then? Are you thinking you'll be all right?
Yeah.
Oh, now then. The last time you were in Modus, it didn't go that well, did it?
I weren't supposed to be though. If you remember last time I played
you jumped in last minute and you had a really tough draw, didn't you?
I jumped in last minute and I played because they needed someone to step in last second and Q School was on, so they couldn't find anyone. So I was like, look, I'll do it. And I played it. I won 3 out of 4 on the first day, but then the second day, I just couldn't throw. I lost my throw. I lost my grip. I lost my action. I lost the feeling in my hand. So I ended up just losing them all. Didn't qualify, but I'm feeling better this time. I think I'll be all right.
Is there anybody that you're watching, Matt, in Modus, that you're thinking, yeah, this lad could make it? This lad's a potential for a BDC card, and you got your eye on?
I think I found the guy, but I don't think the lifestyle will suit him because he's from South Africa. It was Cameron Carolison.
Oh, I've heard that name, yeah.
Good player. Yeah. Good player. Very good. Solid, great action, good attitude. Doesn't want to relocate, though, because he's got family at home. So
yeah, it's so tough, isn't it? It's so tough. It's not a world tour at the end of the world. You know, as much as the money that's in the PDC, everything else, it is not a world tour. So if you're a tennis pro or a golf pro or even a snooker pro now, the tour is worldwide. You are going to be traveling all over, but it makes it kind of fair for everybody. The darts is not a world tour. You're going to spend most of your time in the UK and you're going to occasionally nip to Germany or Holland. And that's pretty much it, Matt. And I think that needs to change because we've known in the past there's been Aussie players, there's been South African players. It's been very, very difficult. I know Damon Hetz has now, set up camp here, but it's tough. It's tough for them guys. We could potentially, there will be, I'm not even going to say potentially, there will be another Luke Littler somewhere in the world. There will be one, definitely, that as of yet is undiscovered, doesn't have access to big tournaments, and is just basically battering everybody where he plays locally. But there will be one.
It's a mathematical certainty. It's the same as is there another life form? Like, we can't be the only living life form in the whole of the universe.
Let's get started on that. Oh, the Brian Cox. I love listening to that guy. And he starts talking about all them stars in all the universes and all the planet. Oh, mate, I can listen to that stuff all day. But we won't bore our listeners with it. We will be back again. If you've got nothing else to say, we'll be back again next week.
We'll hopefully maybe a bit more darts next week, where
maybe a bit more darts.
We'll have some more darts to talk about. Hopefully, there'll be a lot more stuff going on in the world of darts.
It's holiday season, isn't it? And very soon, every podcast will be what happened last week because the tournaments are going to come thick and fast. And fast. It is darts season. So join us again next week, Sunday. We'll see you then. Thanks for listening and watching. Don't forget to subscribe.